Welcome to SwitchCorner, my name is Alex, and today we're taking a look at Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords on the Nintendo Switch. A classic though in the Star Wars video game lineup, and no doubt awaited since we received the port of the original. But how does it compare to that first entry? Should you add it to the library? And have they done this one justice with this port? Well, hit subscribe, join us here on SwitchCorner for reviews and deals near daily, and let's get started. Knights of the Old Republic 2 then follows the story of an exiled Jedi, a character you both control and can name as you please. A standalone follow-up, it means you can jump in here with no prior experience of the series. For me, on reflection, I think this was actually my personal favourite of the two KOTOR entries. The first is kind of, think traditional Star Wars. This one, I found it quite unique and in fact at times even dark. In this era though, the Jedi are all but destroyed. You are the last standing and now you have a hunting party on your tail. It's a story of struggling to find your place in the universe, accepting past decisions like joining the Mandalorian Wars and overcoming a no question incredible odds. In true series fashion though, you shape the story yourself and things can turn to the light or the dark side based upon the decisions you do make. I really do enjoy this one though. It's got a strong narrative grip from the opening moments. There's a fantastic cast of characters, both supporting and main, and then it surprises me still to this day that we never received a third entry. It absolutely just respects the universe while adding enough to stand out from the rest of the storytelling in this world that we've seen before. Gameplay then, and I want to be completely transparent, nearly every review I release on this channel I beat the game to its end sequence, but in this case sunk about 10 hours in given the window we received from codes to release. The average runtime here, it's nearly 30 hours, but I'll present the video today in a format that it can be taken as first impressions, or you can listen to my score should you choose to. It's a game though I've beaten more than a few times over the years, and even in 2022, I'll say this now, it does not disappoint. So yeah, like the first entry then, this one, it's an RPG that gives you exploration in what could be described as large interconnected locations, or even I guess planets. It also packs in what is to this day one of my favourite opening sequences in any video game. You're stranded, unaware of your past, trapped on a ship which is about to be invaded. It is just so Star Wars, but in the best possible way. You really get to learn these characters, and in these opening moments you're going to learn to, I guess, love a cast of characters that you're going to spend the next 30 or so hours with. So gameplay then, it's a combination of exploration and simplistic, almost think action combat, that you are never in control. Rather, you choose the action you want and the game takes control to deliver. That said though, in these moments you can still move your character and reposition them. Think here though, attack, use items such as grenades, heal, and eventually of course use force powers. This will naturally evolve as well beyond the scope of the opening moments, and this is going to be thanks to a skill tree and leveling up system. This system, it's not just adding skills to your repertoire, but rather adding skill points as well to areas such as strength, cunning, and so on. We are shaping our character over a number of levels, and while over the years I do have somewhat a strategy in place now for quick progression, that experimentation does not get old. You'll also find a huge amount then of force powers to unlock as well, and these can both influence your, I guess, gravitation towards the light side or the dark sides. Alongside the skill tree and character customization, then expect to be managing equipment as well. Perhaps one of the most important areas of the game. This can be everything from weapon type to armor to buffer like equipment such as energy shields. At the 10-hour mark, this one, it's a slow burn. I'm still yet to receive a lightsaber myself, as I kind of balance and juggle between the light side and dark side with my decisions. I do think though that's what's always made these so fun. The decisions you make influence your relation to the Force and whether you will turn out good or bad. It leads to not only caution as you make a decision, but also a sense of replayability as you figure out how it changes the events that occur ahead of you. Everything then as well, it's going to be playing into this, the dialogue options during conversations, the Force powers you choose, as I said, the battles you partake in. You know, for its age, it's an incredibly flexible system to this day that clearly reflects the path you are about to take. You don't want to be a Jedi either? Absolutely no need. Build a character that fits your style. Just understand basically how to leverage them in war. Alongside our lead, then expect to be forming a party. While you will along the way meet countless companions, you can opt to travel with 2 at a time. They will be there to support you in battle, but can also be conversational companions as well to add context to the events occurring around you. You can even train these party members, should you contain the skill, in the ways of the Force, which was always a very cool addition in this sequel. The good with this port then, the first release had at release an obnoxiously big text box stating combat when it was automated. Basically when you choose an action, this would kind of come over the screen. Here that is gone. It still has all of the same mechanics, you know, choose an attack type, ranged, melee, force powers, use an item, maybe even pause the battle. But now that combat is in action box, it's just a sleek little bar at the top of the screen that does not obstruct the fun. Likewise, the frame rate drops, they were obvious in the original. There's still some here, but nowhere near the same, and again they kind of tend to occur around particle effects. Problems then, in the first 10 hours of gameplay I've had 3 hard crashes this far. Never lost any progress fortunately, but it seems to occur through load screens. A quick restart though had me back to where I was. The only other thing then, problem wise, it's no question showing its age in gameplay. Somewhat clunky at times would be the best way to describe it, and manoeuvring yourself to pick up loot and so on, it can be what I would call problematic at moments. That is minor though in what is, you know, a classic in the world of RPGs. If the idea though of creating and shaping a Jedi sounds like your thing though, this is a game you should absolutely consider, and if you played it and loved it in the past, ASPYR, they've done a mostly solid job with this port, not only respecting the source, but it seems also listening to our feedback on the remaster of the original as well. Alongside the original base game then, it includes restored DLC, which was originally, from my understanding, completely fan made. It was using leftover code, and that includes now new crew dialogue, an extra mission featuring the fantastic HK-47, and then a newly revamped ending. Though that ending, it won't be available at launch, it will come in a post-launch update. Graphically then, they've done a decent enough job of modernising it, but to be transparent, by modernising it I mean it can be described as, for the most part, a resolution upgrade. Generally though, I think it looks its age, but with a new widescreen resolution, you know, the changes they've made, they are appreciated, and I gotta say, the animations in combat, they do stand up to this day. There still are some awkward moments, like your spacewalk, it's incredibly fast at moments, and the minigames, they clearly got less attention, think a race, but generally, honestly, few complaints. It's, yes, again, an old game, but I think going in, that is what everyone expects. On the graphical front though, one thing I will say is, when they do these things, I do wish they would look to rebuilding cutscenes. The old animated ones, they're still rocking 480p, and that can be a jarring shift as it goes from the visual, you know, side by side. Also then, with this particular release, the brightness is way off. There's almost zero shadow work at points, so jump into the options menu, dial all of that brightness down to fix things up. Audio then, and it's Star Wars, so as expected, great stuff, near fully voice acted. It's far from, you know, perfect, but given its age, that is a seriously impressive feat. And then the sound effects of the music, some of the best out there. It just adds a huge amount of character to this world, which was so important back then because in conversation and exploration, as I said, characters can appear a little stiff, so that voice work, it just adds that extra level. The music then, it's Star Wars, it's top quality, and it never disappoints, and that goes here as well. Everyone knows a Star Wars track or two, you're bound to find something here you do recognise. So the final verdict, and this is an incredibly well written story that's supported by an incredible main cast and supporting cast. Sure, look, it shows its age at points, no question about it. In fact, especially when it comes to the conversational and just, I guess, how busy these locations are. But this is a licensed release, and not only does the series justice, but it adds a story worth telling, all at what is now a relatively budget price point, you know, given the fact it's a re-release. It's worth knowing though it can be a slow burn at times. Those looking to, let's say, wield a lightsaber for example, they may be disappointed, as that's, from experience, I'd say a good 10 hours of gameplay ahead of you. But Knights of the Old Republic is loved and respected with good reason. The question though of how does it compare to the first game, that first entry, it's kind of a curious one, as I've heard countless arguments for both, but I do think with age I've come to respect the risks this one took. As far as the port work goes then, this definitely has some steps up over that first port by ASPYR. That said though, it is still packing, unfortunately, some hard crashes along the way. Right now though, with all of that said, I'm playing it safe today. I can't go higher than a great 8 out of 10. You know, it's a game that's currently crashing on the system randomly. I got lucky, I think at least, no progress lost, but no doubt if I missed, let's say, an autosave checkpoint, it is a very real possibility, and that definitely makes me a little nervous. That said though, look, Star Wars fans, you don't need me to tell you this, it's Knights of the Old Republic 2. Basically, yeah, go buy it, it's an absolute classic. Will you be adding this one to the library then, or holding onto that cache? No question, we will see a patch fixing up the minor issues very soon. They did the same thing for that original re-release, so I have no doubt they're gonna do the same here. With that then, a shout out to the patrons of the channel who are going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. It helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch, as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.